Now, we've got the environmentalists arguing for cap and trade. Their argument is that by cutting CO2s, we save the environment and curb global warming. Okay. One scientist, though, is saying that just is not the case. In fact, he claims we need carbon dioxide to survive and that cap and trade will damage, not improve, the environment. Leighton Steward is the author of Fire, Ice and Paradise. He joins us now from Washington, where he's been lobbying against cap and trade. Leighton, thanks very much for joining us. You are saying that we need more CO2 emissions. More CO2s would, in fact, be good for the environment. Make the case.
Yes, it'll be good for the environment because carbon dioxide is what plants eat. And if we enrich the atmosphere in carbon dioxide, we will have a robust growth in plant food. If we were to put, say, another 300 parts per million of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, the plants would grow 30% more robustly, the trees would grow 50% more robustly, it would green the earth, it would help the ecosystems, the habitats, and it obviously would feed a lot more people on this earth that are right now on the edge of starvation.
Well, you're painting a bright picture, Leighton, fair enough, about the upside for more CO2s, but surely there is a downside, isn't there? I mean, doesn't that change the global climate a little bit, melt the ice caps?
Well, you said the right word. It changes the global climate a little bit, but it's almost a minuscule amount. Carbon dioxide has been tarred and feathered with the fact that it's a major driver of climate change. Looking back at the geologic record for 500 million years, that is simply not true. There's too much empirical evidence, observations where carbon dioxide will be rising and the CO2 levels will be and the temperature will be falling in the opposite direction. And so that's the ultimate test of a scientific hypothesis, and this hypothesis that CO2 is causing a major change in climate is just simply not true. It's borne out.
Leighton, I'm sorry, Leighton, are you in a position to make that specific climate judgment, that scientific judgment? I know you as the author of a book called Sugar Busters. I mean, you're on the dietary side of science, not the climate side of science. Are you really in a position to make that kind of objective judgment about the impact of CO2 emissions?
Stuart, I'm a scientist by background. I got into Sugar Busters for a totally different reason. But I am a geologist. Geologists look back at real facts and the way the earth was laid down and what the atmosphere was, what the CO2 level was, the oxygen level, et cetera, like that. So that's what I've done, is spend the last 3.5 years researching that intensively. I'm a retired person now. I'm doing this. I'm not getting a penny for it. I'm simply letting people know that there is real good news out there that the earth needs more CO2 if we want to green the earth. Now, if cap and trade comes in and we really get successful in trying to reduce CO2, we will actually take food out of the mouths of people, and we will move in a direction of browning the earth. I know that sounds unbelievable, but it's true, and the only reason I'm saying this with such confidence is that the agricultural community, the agricultural universities, and people have been studying what CO2 does for the plant and animal kingdom now, and there are thousands, and I repeat, there are thousands of peer-reviewed studies that prove this. People just don't know it.
I've only got a few seconds left, but I take it that you've been met with a lot of ridicule and hostility?
Well, some. A lot of people just say, gee, I never heard that before. And I'll be honest with you, about 6 months ago, I really didn't know much about the plant
You've
side
changed
of this
your mind.
either.
Weren't you all in favor of capping CO2s, and then you've shifted your position?
Certainly I was. Back in the 90s and so forth, we all thought that carbon dioxide was a major driver of climate change. But that was before they found out that temperature changes several hundred years before carbon dioxide levels change. That was before it really got publicized much that carbon dioxide's ability to capture more heat from the atmosphere declines logarithmically or very rapidly. That's why people like Richard Linson at MIT have been going crazy for 20 years saying carbon dioxide can't be having that much of an effect on climate. And then you look at all this empirical evidence, and it absolutely falsifies the hypothesis that carbon dioxide is a major driver of climate change.
Leighton Steward, it is fascinating, and we appreciate hearing a very different point of view. Thank you, sir.